Let's get it. What's up, everyone? Hold on, y'all. Share this. We live here on Twitter and on YouTube. I say Twitter. Update. We got. I can't. I. No. Okay. Okay, I got a couple things. What's up, everyone? You tuned in to another one. We are live once again. Thank God. So we all know about play to play. And I just wanted to give y'all some of the answers ChatGPT gave me, and in essence, what it gave me, and how it does stunt our game. And then also, I asked ChatGPT, how does pay to play how does it prey on those that can pay and those that can't pay, because it's the same thing. It is to take from overall the people, right? Especially in sports, I've seen a lot of other because it starts when you're a young person. Before you get older, you're a young person, and then you get older, and then you get older, and then so if they're paying to play at 3, 2, 4, 5, 6 age, they're taking money from your family in the very beginning. Okay, and you may not even end up be a baller. Okay, you may not end up be a baller, and we see a lot of them that, like, they don't. I mean, I bet you a lot of people have been, look, in America. Okay, but we're not gonna stay too long on ChatGPT pay to play, because we're gonna get more into the SheBelieves Cup, because there's a lot of other speakers, and I want to break it all down with you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to those that already tuned in. Okay, so let me go over here. Oh, well, I guess I'll be right back. Hold on. LOL. LOL. Okay. That's right. Oh my goodness. All right, so I just asked, hey man, because I asked a couple other questions, and so I asked a couple questions. All right, who created pay to play anyway, nigga? Like, who the fuck did that shit? Who? They was a hoe. And even though it was a fucking man, so I mean, don't even get me started. Anyways, so the term pay to play does not have a single inventor or originator. Its usage has evolved over the time across various contexts, right? The phrase pay to play emerges in the 1920s, initially referring to a pay to play card game for Catholic association. In 1980, it gained prominence in the music industry when some venue owners in Los Angeles began charging new and fledgling artists a fee to perform, a practice that received much criticism. So this was in the 1980s and 1990s, right? I'm sorry, yeah, 1980s. And a practice that received much criticism and was referred to as a scene killer. A scene killer, yes, that makes sense. A scene killer. Like, by the late 1980s and 1990s, the term became increasingly associated with U.S. politics, specifically referring to the practice of companies or industries giving contributions and gifts to candidates in exchange for political favors, influence on policy, tax breaks, and so on. So it went from just being a fun game, quote unquote, a card game, to now you can bribe politicians. You can bribe politicians. Scandalous. Right. So in venture capital, pay-to-play providence are clauses in investment agreements that require existing investors to participate in future funding rounds to maintain their preferred stock rights. These provisions originated from the need to ensure long-term commitment from investors and have become more prevalent during market turndowns. Overall, pay-to-play has evolved into a versatile term used in various sectors, often carrying a negative connotation of requiring payment for access or participation. And well, I will continue. It's a negative, especially when the wealth isn't for nigga. So I said, I want to know, how does pay to play benefit a capitalist society? And I live in America, so everything is about the dollar sign. So I want to know, in essence, how do they come up with the logic behind what they have been making the collective do, aka pay to play? So what is the logic behind this? This is what Chatgpt gives us, a quick little rundown. In a capitalist society, pay to play can be seen as a natural extension of free markets. If someone is willing to pay, they get access to opportunities, concerts, sports, investments, political influence. It rewards those with resources, which in capitalism, aka resources, aka money, which in capitalism often means those who work for or accumulated capital. Some argue it like I said, in this world, men don't like competition. So they rather, the competition, nigga, some argue it incentivizes competition and innovation. If you want access, you have to bring value. Usually it's in the form of money. Some of the criticisms against, on the flip side, pay to play often favors the wealthy. And who is wealthy in America? Huh? Who's wealthy in America? Or who? On the flip side, pay to play often favors the wealthy, which goes against the idea of equal opportunity. In politics, it undermines democracy if only those with money can influence decisions. And we see what type of decisions these people are making currently right now. In business or art, talent but unfunded individuals, in business or the arts, talented but underfunded individuals may never get the chance to sign. Damn. In sports, especially youth soccer, in America, for example, it gatekeeps. And you know, I always talk about gatekeeping because listen, this is a whole simulation matrix. They gatekeep who becomes what and what becomes what, especially if you're still plugged into the matrix. We already know about gatekeepers that are in the industries. That pretty much say, hey, if you want to get through, I'm gonna be presented into your reality, and you're gonna have to go through me to gain access. And we don't know what people be doing to gain access through these gatekeepers. And we could see that based upon results, you don't want to be in the club. There's no example, in my opinion. I guess it's because we just have so much demonic presence on the planet that, I mean, there's nothing that can convince me that going through a gatekeep is beneficial to me as an individual being, you know, having a soul and spirit. There's nothing, I'm gonna remind y'all, there's nothing of this world that I want, especially the life experience that I've had. You know what I'm saying? So this world is really not, it really ain't it. It really ain't it. Maybe it's because I've been restricted in this reality. Maybe that's why I'm not like, oh, you know, Earth is so amazing type shit. You know, maybe it's because I've had a lot of things to carry. Like I said, I'm a generational curse breaker. You know, my life on Earth up to right now has been very, like I said, it's been an uphill battle type shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but I steady keep climbing in this bitch. So, like I said, in sports, because we are also we're able to break down the realm through sports, because it is one thing, especially in America, that is very popular, and since it's so popular, it's used to manipulate the masses. And so unfortunately, because because they want to make you a slave, but but now that we are aware. But sports can be used for good or it can be used for bad. But lately, well, I mean, it's still being used for bad in some things. So in sport, especially youth soccer in the US, for example, it can gatekeep access to elite training and exposure, meaning poor kids get left out regardless of talent. And in sports, because I'm focused on sports, in sports, that's awful. That is awful. You miss out on talent because they can't pay. You miss out on more money from a talented player. But here's the thing. They rather have the security, aka they rather get the payment from the people that they know, your kid really ain't going to be that ish. But I'm already getting your money. So in essence, I really don't need to look at the poor people, even though they would get more return on the quote unquote poor kids. They will get more in return, but that security of getting money from the people that can pay, they be weighing the scales. But that is demonic. I don't know. That's the same. That's all. That's demonic. It is predatory. It is predatory. Either way, side of the coin, it's awful. And like I said, especially when it comes to sport, because you're missing out on talent, and that's some fuck shit. And that's some fuck shit. I'm sorry. That's some fuck shit. You missing out on a player that could become one of the most enjoyable players of their time. We miss out on so many great athletes, and just not even just athletes, but just because we're talking about sports, because this is how I be, helping. But we miss out on so many great players. Imagine, you think we got great players now. Imagine how many players we missed out on because they weren't able to pay. All races, all shades. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so is it a benefit? And like the question was, how does it benefit, in a capitalist society? Like, how does this benefit? Because I want to know what logic are they telling the collective? This is why we do this. It can be effective in allocating limited resources, but only for those who can afford to pay. it's not a moral or equitable system by default, even though it might work within capitalism rules. Basically, it benefits capitalism's winners, but not necessarily society as a whole. So once again, this does not benefit the masses. It benefits the little. It doesn't benefit us for pay to play. The collective. It does not benefit it. And we already know the capitalist society does not benefit us already. So we already know. And all this shit gonna go back to the men because they don't want to share resources and they want to be greedy and hoard. And this is the reality that we're living in and having to break down because that shit is crashing. It's crashing. Oh. Okay, and so it says, do you want a specific pay-to-play context in mind? Yes, and I said for sports because I want, I'm in this hoe. Perfect. What is pay-to-play in sports, especially in America? I live in America. When athletes or their families have to pay fees to participate in club teams, tournaments, travel, coaching, or even exposure to scouts. This is a common in youth soccer, hockey, volleyball, and other non-school sports. All right? How it fits in capitalism, supply and demand. Good coaching, facilities, and tournament slots are limited. Charging money filters who can access them. Private enterprise thrives. Club and academies are businesses. They need income to survive and grow, and pay-to-play makes that possible. Customization, players can choose elite programs, personal trainers, or showcase events to get ahead if they can't afford them. But there's a downside because, there's always a yin and a yang, and we have to be able to equilibrium. We have to have equilibrium in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And we're not in equilibrium just yet because we can go outside and I don't know about you, but there's homelessness, people in situations that I wish they were not in, but maybe they made a mistake taking some smugs. Maybe they just, just grew up poor and they still have the lack mentality mindset. You know what I'm saying? And they, I don't want to say it's their fault. Well, it could be a little bit, but still, we live in a predatory society. So, look. But there's a downside, like I said, massive inequality. And we already know, especially in America, there's a lot of inequality. But overall in the world, there's inequality. We live in a simulation where it's unequal. This simulation is unequal. This matrix, right? Talented kids from low-income families often get priced out. Niggas can't afford to pay $7,000, $10,000, all this. Their parents are working every day. You think they can afford to put their kids, especially if they're young kids. That's why it's interesting. When I hear about, City have academy girls, a lot of other European teams have academy girls, but Houston needs to get some academy girls because this is a way that we can actually, find more of our talent, right? But so first is, low income families get priced out. Gatekeeping talent. It says, but here's they'll gatekeep the talent. Some of the best athletes never get seen because they can't pay the fees to join top level clubs or attend recruiting events. And like I said, they can't get the exposure. And this is another reason why when it comes to the game becoming more global, we needed Mexico to put their ladies on YouTube. When we got At the Football, it started a lot of leagues came to At the Football, and we were able to watch the ladies on their website. And then Dan's purchased At the Football, and now we see a lot of the leagues on YouTube, also on their website. And now Mexico, like I said, opened up the platform where they're gonna show their ladies. You know what I'm saying? They need more exposure. People need exposure. We need access to the players, right? Access to the talent. So if you can't pay it, I'm not saying Mexico couldn't afford to put their ladies on like YouTube, but I mean they didn't think about it. But I think they realized, we need to do this. So it says also burnout and exploitation. Remember, it already told us that overall pay to play benefits capitalism and not society as a whole. So we already know that in essence, the people that were creating pay to play were not thinking about us as the people. They were only thinking about themselves. So when you're only thinking about yourself and not the collective, it's already a lose. They're so selfish, so greedy. So don't even, pay to play is wrong. It's wrong. When you don't think about the collective and you only think about you and a couple other ninjas, it's wrong. And like I said, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Like I said, burnout and exploitation. Paying families sometimes push kids too hard to get their money's worth. So you got your parents pressuring you. You know how much money I pay for you to go play this game, and you're not. You know what I mean? Look, I taught youth sports. I've been with the YMCA. I've been with I-9 Sports. So I've been around. You have to pay for I-9. This shit ain't free. YMCA, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was free or not. I don't remember. But I know I-9's not. I-9, you got to pay. You get 7 to 5 weeks of a specific sport, depending on if you're, and we got like ages, we got a lot of ages, like from 4 to whatever. So if your kid is in I-9 from 4 all the way up to maybe 13, 14, maybe middle school age, your parents have been paying a I-9 fee for those years, okay? And I-9 can run winter, fall, summer, spring in this bitch. So your kids are, and I-9 is not even the top of the cream of the cream. This is, I-9 is to understand the fundamentals. It's the basic beginnings. So niggas is paying for the basic, and listen, I wasn't even a proper coach. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even a proper coach. I didn't know all the rules. I learned as I go playing with the kids. So they still were paying for technically me not actually knowing a lot of the sports rules, but learning as I go. You know what I'm saying? So y'all pay, yeah, like I said. And then the kids, sometimes they just not interested, especially the little ones. They are not, some of them are not focused on playing no soccer. Okay, they just not interested. They want to play with the flowers and the dirt. And these are youngins, right? But their parents have put them in an organization, you know, and they're going to play, you know what I'm saying? So, some, you know, kids get pushed by their parents to get their money worth, and clubs can take advantage by upselling extra costs. So not the clubs being greedy and asking for more money. Not the clubs being greedy and asking for more money, because it's a security. It's a pretty much a guaranteed. We want to guarantee the money, but we're not guaranteeing you that you're actually going to get your money's worth. Like, there's no guarantee that the parents are going to get their money's worth. There's no guarantee that I'm going to get my money's worth, because if the kid's not interested and he's not good enough or she's not good enough, so you didn't get your money's worth, because they didn't even pursue that profession. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You should only be putting your kids in academy shits. That's why you like, I don't even, but they start them young, right? They start them young. They program them young. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up. They program them young. It says, so benefit or not, once again, in a capitalist framework, pay to play is effective, but not fair. And like I said, when the fair does not benefit the majority and it's only minority, oh, hell, like, I'm sorry, we're going to cross the line on this. You know what I'm saying? It's effective in a capitalistic society, but it's still not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, how come it can still be effective and fair, but it can't? Why can't, in a capitalist society, pay to play be effective and fair? Why can't it say in a capitalist framework, pay to play is effective and fair? But since capitalism is not fair, so it ultimately is an L. It's an L. It's a loss. Like I said, it says it helps clubs stay afloat and gives wealthy athletes more opportunity. You gotta have the cash to splash, but it kills the idea of meritocracy, where the best rise based on talent, not money. Hold on. That was weird, but it kills the idea of what is this word? Google
Meritocracy.
meritocracy. Government or the holding of power by people selected on the bias of their ability. A ruling or influential class of educated or skilled people. Where is that?
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy. So, but it kills the idea of meritocracy, where the best rise based on talent, not money. Okay, yeah. Pay to play kills the idea of meritocracy, where the best rise on talent and not money. Okay, now I get it. Okay. All right. Some countries like Europe and South America run on federation or club funded models. And we already know, especially in the women's game, our club funded models for the women's game is not good enough, clearly. And they only go to geographical locations, especially in England that we're observing, where some of the players are just not it. They're just not it. I mean, in Europe, I'm just looking at Manchester City women. I'm looking at, a lot of, look, when I look about it's mainly the women's game because I'm not too worried about the men's game. Women's game is poorly funded and the federations don't care about the women. So that's the issue. Now, so once again, it says some countries like hold on. Some countries, like most of Europe and South America, run on federation or club-funded models, so young talent is often scouted and supported without the player paying a dime. That's why people often say the U.S. system is broken. It is. It's not that the talent isn't there, which we obviously know we have talent. It is locked behind a paywall. And the American people are suffering. All right, let me go to another page. Hold on. So I asked Chatgpt one more question before we go into So I asked ChatGPT, I said, in essence, what's the real reason behind pay to play, and how does it prey on people that pay to play and those that don't? Because I know that it hurts people that do and don't. So what you could do is just don't pay. That's what you could do. Just be like, we're not paying. Fuck that. Why would we pay? That's what they could do. But niggas is like, well, I got the money. Let me go and play. But your kid is not good. Your kid not good, fam. But you got the money. But your kids suck. No offense. They not good. They can't play. All right, anyways. And that's not all the time. But I'm sorry, niggas. That's... Anyways, at its core, pay to play in youth sports, especially in countries like US, is a system where access to high level training, and listen, the thing is, like, also, like, we already know, like, some of our, when we think about a lot of these coaches that got purged from the NWSL were like youth coaches. And just because you're paying to play from these, it's you could even pay these people to come teach your children, your young girls, and they be predatory on your young children. Not only being abusive to them, they're also abusing you financially. You take the risk of not only being drained of your resources, but now your child is being abused based upon them going to a sport, being in a youth sport, right? And then your parents are also on your back talking about, I want my money worth. I'm paying how much for you to go play and you're not even getting time? Okay. At its core, pay to play in youth sports, especially in countries like US, is a system where access to high level training, teams, and competition often requires significant financial investment. Here's the essence of why it exists and how it preys on both those who do and don't pay. Why it exists. The real reason. Privatization of sports development. Rather than being fully supported by public schools or national governing bodies, youth sports are run by private clubs. So why do they not want all children from all backgrounds to just play sports? Just play, because apparently some people don't even get recess no more. So like some children don't get recess. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to the school that offers recess nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like PE is not required no more. You don't gotta go to the PE class. I remember I had to go to PE class damn near all the way. Yeah, I think my senior year, my junior and senior year was like when you could like not actually choose sports. Like you didn't have to do a sport. But like all the way up, I think all the way up to my sophomore year, I played sports. At my middle school, at my high school. So until my junior year and my senior year, I was like, of course I wasn't going to be a professional baller, but I was like, sports wasn't really needed. I wasn't interested anymore. You know what I'm saying? And also I lived in Houston. Those girls were tall, like 6'6". Them girls were tall. So I'm like, I'm going to have to be a guard trying to get past these 6 twin towers. And I was like, no, I'm gonna have to fold on that one. But anyways, so why do they want to gatekeep the talent of the coaches? Like, why don't they want to let? That's why it's like, you can't gatekeep shit that's global, nigga. Like, that's why sports is global. How can you gatekeep helping teams get better, educating coaches, educating referees? How can you gatekeep that shit? Like, why would you? Why would you even want to do that in the first place? But we all know the reason, because the origins of it is for the small and not the mass. We already know it was only intended to benefit those in power, not us as a society. That's not us as a society. You know what I'm saying? So we know that some youth sports are often run by private clubs, and those private clubs could be dangerous. Okay. Lack of centralized investment. Unlike in countries where talent development is subsidized, in places with pay to play, families foot the bill because there is little to no government or federation support. And honestly, sports, just first of all, physical activity, physical activity daily helps you, in essence, move your chakras up and down. It helps you with your health. And if you do this, all the way up to maybe high school, you're kind of going to be programmed to maybe work out maybe here and there, off and on, or even just, know that, hey, I'm going to be, sports is a way to continue to have a healthier lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. But also friend development, you learn a lot of skills from the realms of sport, leadership, understanding, you learn different personalities, but you all realize, even though we have different personalities, we have a common goal, and the common goal is to perform well and win the game, right? So there's a lack of centralized investment. And so when we listen to Michelle Kane, in essence, what she was doing was, I'm going to take 3 clubs and I'm going to centralize the investments. Washington Spirit, London City Lionesses, and Lyon, right? In business models, it says clubs turn development into profit, charging for training, travel, tournaments, etc. So why exist? Okay. How does it prey on those who do pay? So y'all people that, your parents maybe paid for you to go to these clubs. I'm happy for you that you actually were, like I said, not everyone is in a household where they have the ability to put that type of money into their kids at that age or even older, because of the reality that we live in, right? So financial exploitation either way, you're either in it because you can pay, or you're not because you can't pay. So financial exploitation, parents spend thousands with hopes of scholarships or pro careers, but most kids don't make it. Clubs sell a dream. So clubs be selling dreams to the parents. And this is a reality check that most parents get after maybe even like the first week, the second week. They're like, damn, I invested already. I can't, like, there's no refund. You know what I'm saying? There's no refund on my investment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, clubs be selling a dream because, like I said, there's a guarantee that they're going to get their money, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get a scholarship. Your daughter is going to get a scholarship and your daughter's going to go pro. There's no guarantee on that, but their guarantee is that we got your money. Predators. Burnout and pressure. Kids become investments. First of all, you had sex and you popped out a baby. And now you trying to pimp your baby out to the clubs and hope that you can get your money back based upon having a kid? The fuck? Kids become investments. So kids can't be kids. Now they're investments. Now they're a part of a business model. Now they're being, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, kids can't just be kids. Children just can't play. Children just can't play with their same age group. Or even unisex, because at I-9, we had boys and girls play together. So, like, what the fuck? But like I said, I-9 was a pay to play. You had to pay. But over there, I-9, we had to make sure everyone had time on the field. But like I said, I-9 I think I-9 is pretty global because it's like more like a franchise where people can get certain districts. They can get certain districts, and in a way, I like it because I mean, what I liked about I-9 is, like, if I ever wanted to, if I got the currency, I could do some things, you know what I'm saying, with I-9. But anyways, I still don't like the fact that people have to pay to put their kids in sports. Anyways, burnout and pressure. Kids become investments, right? Instead of just children. The pressure to make it worth it can ruin their joy and mental health. So now not only are kids becoming investments, they have pressure on their back. They can't even play the game. They're over there worried about, well, you know what I'm saying? My joy, my mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some of these kids are just not interested in playing, and the parents be signing them up. Like you could clearly tell they're not interested. Like, why are you signing your kids up for something that they're not interested in? But like I said, sports is gone. Sports parents or people that want to put their kids in sports, I understand the reasoning behind it. Maybe to make friends, to get them active, to get them outside. But if that's not for them, it's not for them. Don't pressure them. The fuck? They gonna end up hating you. False meritocracy. We just learned about that word.
Meritocracy.
False meritocracy. There we go. Even if a player isn't elite, money can keep them on teams, buying opportunities over true talent. And like I said, that's what the world that we have lived in. People have been buying opportunities, and the talent has been overlooked, right? In the capitalist society, because this main one, this is what world we live in. This is how capitalism preys on those who pay. So they exploit you financially, they burn you out with the pressure, and then it's still false because you can still not get your money's worth. It's not 100% guaranteed. So they get your money, they'll fuck up your mental health, and they still offer you, hey, you paid all this money, but your kid is just not it. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it preys on you, people that want to pay these thousands of dollars. So us people that can't afford it, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying us people but I never, nobody ever paid for me to be in a sport. I just played in school. Like I said, it's too risky for me. It's too risky for me to pay you thinking I'd rather just do it private. I'd rather just hire a personal coach for my child, and I'd rather have it one-on-one than it be more of a club, because it's in a way less predatory, because I'm gonna be there with my kid or whatever, and the coach, and mainly we're probably gonna be a woman coach because we don't fuck with the men coaches. But anyways, how it preys on those who don't pay. So here in essence, here is what it happens to people that can't afford to put in the cash. They can't afford to invest in their child the way they want to in a sport, right? Exclusion. Talented kids, and like I said, we don't know if they're talented or not because we haven't seen them. Right? We don't know if they're talented or not, but we're just assuming that they're talented. They could be mediocre. They could be just like the people that pay to play, right? But we know most of the time we miss out on talent because their parents don't have the money. Because God gives, you know, some people are born to play sports. Some people are not born to play sports. But I do feel like there are certain people that come down through parents where, this in a way is going to help your family become financially free. You're going to help be you're going to be a generational curse breaker. You know what I mean? I do think God works in mysterious ways. So sport is a way that God can use individuals to help generate, like I said, generational wealth for their family, right? Exclusion. Talented kids from low-income families are shut out, never seen by scouts or colleagues because they can't afford exposure, right? And it says limited pathways. No matter how good they are, without money, they often lack access to training, competition, or visibility. It's a reinforcement of inequality. It assures that access to opportunity remains tied to wealth, not ability. And that right there is awful. Like, you can pay to be bad. You can pay. You can pay and you still suck. Nah, nigga, that ain't how much. No, that's awful. That's awful. But this is what's been going on in our society. People been paying. And people been paying, and they've been preyed upon. And so those that don't have those pathways, we got to create our own pathways. We got to create from within to figure out how. Like, okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to create something to have visibility. How can I create visibility for myself within? You know what I'm saying? How can I access training? I got to train myself. Fuck it. I got to go on YouTube. And look at the trainings that they may present on YouTube for me to learn. You know what I'm saying? I may need to go ask my coach that I'm in high school with if he knows any personal trainers that know some more people. You have to find other ways to get training that you may lack. You know what I mean? Because your parents can't afford to put you in a training that maybe or maybe not benefits you. You know what I mean? In essence, pay to play feeds on hope and scarcity. Damn. Like, why y'all feeding off our energy, niggas? Why y'all feeding off our energy? All they want to do is play football. In essence, pay to play feeds on hope and scarcity, charging those with dreams while silencing those who can't afford to dream in the first place. So charging those with dreams. So you have a dream of becoming a professional footballer, and you don't think that you can just naturally, like, you're being told that you need to pay for this dream to become reality, right? People pay for subscribers, people pay for followers, people pay for views, but you're not attracting this organically. This is all manufactured. This isn't you. This is on you. This isn't in you. This is on you, nigga. This shit on you, not in you. This shit on you, not in you. Those are two different things. And the same for the other. And like I said, it goes for the other side. It goes for the other side as well. We don't know the people that can't play. If they could pay, would they? We don't know. It's a case by case. But we already know. Like I said, based upon our observations in America, currently right now, there are people on the USA team that I don't feel should be on the USA team because they're not good enough. And I do believe that was tied to money, that their parents had the access to pay. And then here's the kicker. Y'all ninjas be playing professionally and y'all be getting hella minutes, and then we still don't be seeing what makes y'all talented. And that be the thing. I'm like, man, so you did just enough to go pro. So actually everything kind of worked out for you. But now we are seeing that you're not good. Now we're seeing that you don't have any talent. Like Bronny James, right? He's a prime example of pay to play, right? Because LeBron James is the LeBron James, right? And his son is not talented when it comes to the game of basketball. But since LeBron James is LeBron James, the nigga is on the Lakers. And he's a prime example of, man, you're not talented to play this game compared to your other counterparts, right? But y'all already know who I be cracking backs on in the USA soccer realm. So, you know what I'm saying? But Bronny James is a prime example of lack of talent. And his daddy forcing him to play basketball even though he don't want to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? That nigga don't want to play basketball. But he's forced to because his dad's LeBron James. It sucks. It sucks because then the kids are, you know, all this shit's going to affect him. When he gets older and he starts speaking out type shit, when he a grown man, when he becomes well, I guess he's a grown man already. But anyways, fuck that shit. In essence, play to play feeds on hope and scarcity, charging those with dreams while silencing those who can't afford to dream in the first place. It's a system where talent doesn't rise to the top. Funding does. And yep. And that's awful. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right. So this is what Chatgpt had to say about pay to play, those that pay, those that don't play. At the end of the day, you're still getting fucked over. Okay? There's no benefit to pay to play. There's no benefit. There's no benefit. There's no benefit. Once again, there's no benefit. You don't even know your kid's gonna go pro. You don't even know your kid's gonna get a scholarship, but you've invested all that money. And I bet you here's another thing. Some of the kids end up being really good at the sport. Damn, they end up being really good at the sport. And they're like, no, I'm not interested in playing. I'm not interested in going pro. I'm interested in doing this career. Thank you, mom and dad. Hopefully the mom and dad don't get mad that they didn't want to pursue this as a passion. But, you know, it's every family gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so where is it out here? Yes. All right. Shout out to ChatGPT helping us out there, helping us understand why pay to play is awful for our capitalistic society. It's awful for a society that we live in. It's awful for it preys on both parties. It preys on both parties. There's no benefit. That's why it must be torn down. You know what I'm saying? That's why it must be eradicated. Okay. Oh, my bad. Let's get up on let's get up on Michelle Kang type shit. Okay, so yesterday we listened to Michelle Kang and JT. So we're gonna see who the next two guest speakers are, and we're gonna break down what the fuck they be saying. Okay. It's the second. Okay. Oh, this next panel was pretty dope. I mean, not pretty dope, was really dope. Okay, cool. Okay, so they're finishing their I have it on mute right now, just to let you know. What am I looking for? Here we go. Okie dokie. Alright. Where is my remote? Okay, here we go. Let me get the audio for you. Wait, what the fuck? I can't hear nothing.
Another panel coming up, so thank you so much to you guys. And we will bring out our next panel. Soccer is more than a sport. You mentioned this, JT. It is a force for good. The Soccer Forward Foundation, which JT was just talking about, soccer's 2026 FIFA World Cup Legacy Initiative exists to support the entire American soccer community. The Soccer Forward Foundation aims to make soccer accessible, inclusive to everyone, everywhere, because they believe that growing the game is going to lead to healthier, more connected communities for generations to come. So we'll let you guys get out, give them another round of applause. Thank you so much. You are incredible.
Yes, you're so
Incredible. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have, I believe, another panel before we break for lunch because we want to give everybody a chance to talk because that's sometimes the most important, not sometimes, it's always the most important part of networking, right? And I get that. The next panel I mentioned, the Force for Good. We want to highlight the work of 5 tremendous business leaders and how they are using soccer these days as a force for good. So let me introduce the moderator of this next panel, Kelly Nascimento. She works globally in sports for social impact and sports diplomacy. Kelly works in collaboration with governments, with nonprofits, brands, federations, and athletes to help maximize efforts in the spaces where cultural diplomacy, storytelling, and impacts converge. Her expertise is in aligning strategies and amplifying brand storytelling and creative, innovative partnerships. So please welcome to the stage co-founder and Chief Impact Officer at Hadaf Global and Soccer Forward Foundation Advisor.
She's reading from a screen. So my thing was like, all right, like how many people actually talked, like how many people actually know each other in the realm? Like how many of the people that were invited to this summit actually know each other, I guess, in the outside world, right? Because I know a couple of them do, but she clearly doesn't know who the moderator is, right? That's why she's reading off the thing. And you probably are going to know why, but anyway, I'm just saying, how many of these people actually know? Because, like, you know, I guess they're different. There are 5 different leaders from 5 maybe different backgrounds. So anyways, they're going to get to know each other now here, right? Here we go.
Advisor Kelly Nascimento. Take it away.
Hi, you guys. This is amazing. I'm following Michelle Kang. What? I love when, one thing I want to say, first of all, I know I have the hokey paper, but I have to tell you, I am the age that I have like 7 pairs of glasses for every 2 feet. So for me it's just easier.
So she already exposes herself. She already says she's at the age where it's going to take multiple glasses to read. So they are reading from a prompter down there. That's basically what she told us. So she needs the paper in front of her to be able to read what she's going to be asking people. Because I guess in a way it's quote unquote, the questions are scripted. It's not just, some of them ask raw questions, but most of the questions are framed in certain ways, right? Clearly, it's not just like I guess it's like, I mean, would you want, I guess you kind of have questions, but to have it structured, but then again, do you need to have it? I don't know. Whatever. We'll keep it going.
Really quick thing before I bring everyone on. One of the reasons I love when I hear people talk about what I do, and I think this is important here, is that I went to art school. I went to Parsons. I'm not, right? I was not an athlete, although I played tons of sports and dance my whole life. I still do, just for fun. But I went to art school for branding, for photography and graphic design. And what I do today in sports, interestingly enough, is exactly what I did with a camera. I help tell people's stories. And, you know, I got last year to work with the NFL on the first football game ever in South America. Now I get to work with Soccer Forward. So what I wanted to tell you is, like, you find your special sauce, and you will find a place for it in sport. You know what I mean? So anyway, I like to say that because I think, you know, you always wonder, like, where people came from. All right, this is an amazing panel. I was going to come out and say this is the best panel of the day, but we are pretty stacked.
And honestly, though, this panel was lit. I got a lot of gems from a lot of these ladies. I'm not gonna lie. I remember when I was watching this one, I was able to listen to this one. I think a lot. This panel, because I heard from the girl from another geographical location. We're gonna hear from one of the women that is from one of those. You're gonna hear from the girl that had the story, she's only 23, about what's going on with their federation in another country, and how they're pretty much their national team has been taken away. So we're gonna hear from her. But yeah, this panel was a good panel.
So I'm not going to compare. I wanted to bring out our panelists. Our first panelist, it was part of the 1991 inaugural World Cup, Women's World Cup team, and she won the World Cup. She then was part of the 1996 Olympic World Cup women's soccer team, and they won gold. And this year, she's going to be inducted into the Soccer Hall of Fame. And as a side gig, she is the CEO of the Center for Sports and Human Rights. Could you please welcome Mary Harvey? Our next guest is the CEO of LA84 Foundation. LA84, if you guys don't know, it is the gold standard of legacy projects, I think globally. It really is. Before that, she just happened to be Senior Vice President and Chief of Staff at Los Angeles Times. And before that, she was the Senior Vice President of External Affairs for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So please welcome an underachiever to the stage, Miss Renata Smero.
Yeah, I don't know why she said the underachiever, but anyways, she had some great gems for us as well. And shout out to Mary, winning World Cups and winning gold medals.
And our next guest, we all know, she was named the most influential sports person, one of the most influential sports people in sports business by the Sports Business Journal. And in the same year, Angel City became the first women's team to ever win the category of Sports Team of the Year by the Sports Business Journal. Please welcome the co-founder and CEO of Angel City FC, Miss Julie Ehrman.
Now, I ain't know who she was when she was introducing her, but Angel City, y'all ain't all flowers and rainbows type shit, niggas. Y'all got dock points, so y'all not, listen. I don't give a fuck who gave you what award. I don't give a fuck what they said. Y'all niggas got dock points because y'all, and like I said, Houston Dash got Angela. I don't know if Angela was a part in getting y'all docked points, but y'all got docked points. Houston ain't never had no docked points, but they sure did fire a coach. But I don't like that Angel City, y'all niggas was docked points. Don't try to sweep that shit under the rug. I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas got caught up. Y'all was doing shady business. So y'all ain't what y'all claim to be. 100%.
And last but absolutely not least, this amazing woman she's a keeper for the Melbourne Victory. She is part of the Women, Youth, and Grassroots panel at the Afghan Football Federation. She's currently pursuing a bachelor's business degree at Deakin University in Melbourne. She is the captain of the Afghan women's national team, and she is a passionate and powerful advocate.
Oh, okay, bet. So she playing football right now. This is the lady that had a very good, a very sad but good story, because she done made it out the trenches.
For women's rights, and she is 23. Please welcome Fatima Yusufi to the stage. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story to contextualize this, sort of why I think these women are my heroes and why I think sport is so important, okay? When I was little, we moved to this country. It was like late 70s, so I am old. I am busy signal on your phone old, okay? I am stand up to turn the TV channel old. And it was late 70s, and we moved here from a small island in Brazil, like literally less than 400,000 people, to New York City in the late 70s. And my mom was smart enough to put us in an international school so that I wasn't the only person who didn't speak English. We weren't the only people with the weird foods or the only people who were learning everything. And the cool thing about when kids and people like try to form a new sort of community is that you start like identifying like the pop culture moments that you need to be aware of in order to be able to communicate and like bond with this community. And at the time, it was things like Electric Company and the Brady Bunch and deciding whether you were a Met or a Yankee. Like, it doesn't matter if you knew baseball. You just needed to decide and like, with your full chest. This was New York. But the thing is that when you start creating these bonds and you start sort of adopting to your new sort of pop culture moments and you start creating this new community, especially at that time. And let me remind you, at that time, when you left your country, you left your country. There was no Zoom, there was no FaceTime, there was no internet, there was no WhatsApp. The phones were clunky, and you know, especially if you were little, it was echoey and tinny. Like, there was really no context for you to communicate, right? So, and it was expensive, so your parents were just like, you know, hurry up, right? And the more you started connecting with your new community, the farther you would get from your community at home. Because you weren't sharing the same, there was no Electric Company, there was
Damn, I totally missed her intro, so we just gonna have to speed it up. We gonna have to, whatever. She gonna have to just keep going. Damn. Okay.
no Brady Bunch, there was no Mets, right? So, it happened until every 2 years, the Olympics. So the Olympics, I knew when I was watching, you know, ice skating or skiing or running or gymnastics, that my family, my cousins, my friends back home were all watching the exact same thing at the exact same time. And all of my friends in school and their families in Afghanistan and Turkey and and Namibia and Sweden, they were all watching the same thing at the exact same time. And everybody watched the Olympics, you guys. We had 3 channels, okay, granted. But everybody watched the Olympics. And when you got back to school, that's all everybody talked about for like 2 weeks, right? I don't know anybody my age who doesn't know where they were when a young Romanian girl named Nadia Comaneci scored a perfect 10. I don't. Like, everybody watched. And to me, there's nothing that can do that can unify people like that has the power to do that, like sport. And
Bars. The whole world was watching. And sport is for everyone. Sport is for everyone. That's why it should be on TV, or it should be accessible to the collective, because sport is for everyone, to witness greatness, to witness mastery, to witness someone's talent in the realm of the sport that they're participating in. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it can inspire, it can awaken something within you. Like I said, sport has. I already know the game that did something to me was USA versus England, the Kristen Press goal. If y'all remember Kristen Press goal, when she's looking up, I guess her mother had passed away, but didn't know any of that context. But it was the goal that had awakened something in me, and it was with that goal and me watching it. Like I said, something I had a chain reaction, and here we are a couple years later. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. And like my friend Superman, or is it Superman? Spider-Man actually once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And hence what all these amazing women do. So I wanted to start actually with Fatima, because I told her, I think Fatima's story and all the wonderful, amazing things she's done is kind of the reason why we're all here. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to, like, the list that I gave of the things that you did.
Yeah, and that's a bold statement. She says Fatima's story is basically the reason why we're all here. And yeah, because in a way, because we live in America where the minority, where the majority have little and the minority has a lot, she in essence on the panel, and maybe that other black lady, but mainly her, because she's from a country where women can't think for themselves type shit. Her pathway was very difficult to get to where she is now. So, I'm grateful that I was born in America. I don't know if I could be on YouTube right now if I was born in her country. You know, that's why she ain't in her country.
Or just the things that you did. Like, you know, it doesn't even touch on your actual story and the way that it has formed your activism. So could you give us a little bit of that, please?
Hello, everyone. So honored. At first, I want to say I'm so honored to be sitting next to these amazing and legends and change makers today. I'm feeling so humbled. Back to the question. Yeah, soccer was something that happened in my life. First, changing myself, and then I just learned a lot of things from this game, from this sport, and it was something that happened in my life when I was also a person who is the same idea as others in our country. The idea that a girl can't do anything in Afghanistan. The idea is an Afghan girl have to be told what she can do and what she can choose. So for me, this sport, soccer just changed all my life, myself, my narrative that I was thinking also the same thing, that I can't do anything more than just maybe studying till 9th grade and that would be it. Because, you know, even studying in Afghanistan was not your choice. You should have worked so hard for that. And for myself, I remember first I fought so much more to just gain this opportunity to go and study. And I should mention my mom was the supporter for me always. And even with the sports, with the soccer, she was a very big supporter of me. And she supported me to go with the sport as well. I had to change first the narrative of my own dad. He believed I was supposed to just study to maybe read and write, and that was the only thing that I could have do on that time. And, you know, the big change happened when I was at the 11th grade at the high school, and I saw the girls who were playing soccer, and it was my first time seeing girls who were playing soccer, and it was so powerful in my head. I dreamed about myself on that time, thinking, what if I could play the same game that they're playing right now? And what if I go with them and join? But I couldn't say anything on that time because I was thinking there was a lot of mixed emotions in my head, and also thinking that the girls really playing soccer and they can really, you know, pass, shoot. They have powerful right now, you know, they're just being like Ronaldo and Messi. And that was the only thing in my head on that time, and thinking that I can be that Ronaldo and Messi right now too. And the good thing.
Well, she said a lot. Okay, so she said a lot. She said, first of all, she had to change herself in the belief that an Afghan girl could be more than what the society that she lives in has told her. And she ended up, shout out to Mama Fatima for believing in her daughter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the mothers. Because she could have been like, no, daughter, you're not going to do this. This is not in our culture. You're not going to do this. And she said, no, I want you to do this. You deserve, you want to do this? Do this. So, shout out to Mama Fatima, first of all. And, yeah, the fact that she thought she could be Ronaldo or Messi was just her, in a way, her childlike innocence, you know? And it's not even childlike because she was an 11th grader, but still, you're 11th grade, you're still, in a way, still a child. You're a young teenager, maybe, but still. A childlike innocence, thinking, seeing her high school counterparts playing football out there, like, man, they are the Ronaldos and Messis. And we would look at it like, that's crazy. But in her viewpoint, this is where her starting point was. And it's quite incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, her story is incredible because she's going to tell us some more.
What happened was those girls asked me to join them with the game, and I started to go and play with them. That was a time that changed all my life, and the soccer journey started from there, from school. And from that time on, I was able to go with the tournaments, and from the tournaments, I was selected by the national team. And first, 2017, I made it to the junior U17 national team at Afghanistan. And before that, 2016, the struggles that I faced, I can tell first thing first, hiding it from my dad was the best option to just go for my training, go for the trials for the national team. And till the day that I made it, I hide it from my dad. And thank you to my mom. She was there and helping me to hide it. You know.
Thank God, thank God, thank God for Mama Fatima. Really though, imagine if her daddy had found out that the mama was helping her go to football practice. Fuck. I'm not saying y'all be, cutting. I don't know what y'all be doing over there. I don't live over there. But thank God she made it out.
As a girl in Afghanistan, you're not a decision maker for yourself. There is your relatives, there is your family.
That's hell. I don't understand. I'm an individual person. You telling me I can't think for myself? I have to have other people think for me. I have to have other people do shit for me. See how they have created an artificial system where women are relying upon these no good men? It's an artificial system. This is not reality. This is not real life. It's a construct that was created to oppress. So shout out to Mama Fatima. Shout out to Fatima. Keep going. But yeah, just hearing about what you can and can't do over there as a woman is wild work.
And you will never be able to go and have your decision in your life. So that's why we made that decision to hide it from those people, from those mindsets, to just make something happen.
Those mindsets, your mindset, and if your mindset has been programmed to not benefit you, well then you're fucked. So you have to program your mindset to benefit you. Not what other people want from you, or not what other people think of you. You got to program your mind for what you believe that you want. Like I said, they have programmed the minds of the masses. That's why this is a matrix. Don't forget, we are the Neos and the Trinities in this bitch. But mainly the Neos because we're in the matrix, right? But yes. In the matrix, we've been programmed. And we have to have strong mental strength to observe what the fuck is going on in our world. And like I said, I have now based upon all the things that has happened to me, I would say, me being an air sign, I'm very intellectual, but I'm very sharp when it comes to my discernment. Everything, you have to pay attention to everything people say to you. Unfortunately, because some people are not here to help you awaken. Some people are here to keep you asleep and continue the simulation. And that's sad because, the simulation doesn't want you to be free. The simulation in the matrix that we have been living in, right? But now since we're having a great awakening, people are starting to wake up even more, which is good, thank God. But not enough. But more and more every day, people are waking up to this art. Like I said, yo, Gucci. I ain't never bought a Gucci, a Louis, because I couldn't afford one. But all that shit, look, now nobody's, like I said, no one's going to be paying $9,000, $100,000 for these bags no more. You know how much freedom you know how much, first of all, that exposure rippled the matrix. That enlightenment exposed so much, and it freed so many people that were always striving to get these artificial things, something outside themselves. And that's the great thing about this great awakening in the age of Aquarius. The truths, the shocking truths we must face the shocking truths, especially with ourselves, right? I know I had to face a lot of shocking truths. And I have a lot of things to still work on, but a nigga is doing pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. But all right, let's keep going.
And it really did. It really changed the whole thing. And I made it to the national team at 2018. But unfortunately, facing all those challenges, I also should mention about the security. Like in Afghanistan, it's not like safe maybe with most of the countries who have safety and girls or women can go for sports or maybe outside for even walking. In Afghanistan, it's very hard to even walk outside of your house all alone and to just go to the training, facing bomb explosions, harassment from the people. You know, it's not only about my story as well. My teammates have their own individual stories, like wearing clothes like a boy to not be harmed by the people around, and also hide your identity that you're a soccer player, that you even have that honor to be a national team player, but again, because of that fear, you should hide everything from the society, from your relatives and everyone. However, everything with all those challenges,
And that's not a way to live, fam. That is not a way to live. In hiding? Why we gotta live in hiding? Because people are predators. Why can't the predators be locked up? Well, it's because there's so fucking many of them. And the predators be in jail, and the predators be behind the jail, talking about, ha, you got caught, and I didn't. Type shit. Like, niggas can't walk outside, because, I mean, well, people are dangerous. Not everyone. But you gotta be aware. You gotta be aware. But like I said, she says they couldn't even walk outside. Like, women can't even walk outside their house. What? Not it. What if she just trying to water her garden? Y'all don't got gardens? They're like, no, we don't got gardens.
with all this amazing journey, 2021, August, Taliban arrived and took over Afghanistan. The time that was a dark time for Afghan women and changed the whole thing. And I can tell, in my opinion, it was erasing women from the society, from our country, and their opinion wasn't anymore important. They are not right now even allowed to go for education, which is a basic right. A sport is a...
Women in Afghan can't even get educated. They want to keep them dumb mentally to keep them in slavery. Because if you become educated, or just be like, hold on, nigga, I'm a human. I don't want to be like dumb. Like, you come down to earth to be stuck in the same state your whole life? No. Like, that's their mentality over there. Like I said, she told us the story. Their mentality over there where women can't think for themselves type shit, even though they be thinking for themselves. Women don't have a voice. That whole ideology needs to burn to the ground. Like I said, this is the last time I'm here on earth type shit. This is crazy. It's just awful. It hurts my soul to hear what other women have to go through in other countries because of the toxicity and the demonic cult hold men have and religion has on the masses. It hurts my soul because we ain't supposed to come down here and be trapped and be imprisoned. Like I said, they rob you of the organic human experience. I didn't come down here to be a slave in the Matrix. I came down here to I came down here to be human, to experience the human life. So I can't help I was born in the 90s. And, you know what I'm saying? The system was already created and already had so many, rituals being done on certain geographical locations and certain ideologies, religion, God, the age of Pisces, you know what I'm saying? Age of Pisces meaning believing in everything and not having the information. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're in age of Aquarius, age of information. Nigga, you gonna know the truth, nigga. You gonna know the truth. And if you continue to believe the illusions, you're only blocking your chakras. You're only preventing yourself from being free and liberated. Are you afraid of your potential? And I was. But now, every single day, I'm like, nah, nigga. Like I said, I have to express myself. I have to say how I feel. I can't be a sheep. I've never been a sheep, you know what I'm saying? That's why I've always been outcasted. But whatever.
Very far opinion for the Taliban to allow women when they do not allow them to go for the education, how they can allow them to go for sport that it was also a very big issue before Taliban as well. So after that, making it to Australia, because of the risk that we were facing, because of the Taliban, because of the accomplishment that we have, because of that change that our team made on that time before Taliban to arrive. Because of all those achievements, because of all those change, we had, for the first time, our under-15 women's soccer national team. It's a big idea in my head because, you know, being in Afghanistan, growing up, watching like girls and, you know, the families, it was so hard to see like a girl who is under 15 or younger, they can come for the sport and they love to do that game and play just as we did. And I think I'm so much happy, like thinking I was an inspirational person for those girls watching me and, you know, watching our team and saying we want to be just as same as those girls who are playing right now in the national team. But all those achievements just vanished, erased by Taliban the time that they came, and they were targeting the girls and athletes.
Right? They try and erase women from history. They don't, like I said, they're jealous of women. They're jealous of women, so they harm them. They do so many bad things to women because they're jealous. They're so jealous of women. We live in a world where men are jealous of us. Nigga, I can't help that I'm a woman. Why are you jealous of a nigga? It's all built, like a lot of our world is built off the jealousy of women. You know what I'm saying? Like what? And I don't remember ever coming down to experience a life where people was jealous of just because I came down as a woman. Like the fuck? Putting in rules and regulations where I can't move freely as a spirit and a body that happened to be a woman. That happened to be in a woman vessel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some jealous ass niggas. And it's the demonic mindset of these people that are in the positions of power currently that are slowly I would say also the ETs, the people that are the evil aliens, as we say, the evil aliens that are helping them use certain frequencies and certain warfare to prevent us from breaking free of the frequency that has trapped us, right? So but her story is 100% her story should remind you can make it out. You can get out. You can break free. Her story is going to inspire other girls in her country, and inspires me to be like, nigga, she made it through I don't know if I can live in a country that she comes from. I already had a difficult time living in a country right now, and then like I said, I was born into a den of heathens. So she's a strong spirit. She's a powerful spirit to make it out. She's a powerful spirit to want to be a national team member when they're not even given an opportunity to get educated. She's a powerful spirit to overcome these limitations in her reality. You know what I'm saying? She's a prime example of what you can create from within and how it manifests. And so, like I said, her story is very inspirational. It should inspire you to keep moving forward and to dream big. And just because your circumstance, she lives in a whole country where them women can't really do nothing, and she still made it out. You know what I'm saying? And she's only 23. She's not that old. She's 23. So a lot of the other this generation coming up, they're well aware of the shit that they have to break down. You know what I'm saying? They're very in tuned. They're more alien like than we are. Yeah, she's one of many. But I never heard of her until the last time I never heard of her until I heard her talk on that when the summit came out. This was the first time me ever listening to this woman.
sports, not only soccer, other games as well, like the girls from Olympic, and we all were in a great danger. Day by day, we were waiting when we will be next, because every day during the time that I was in Afghanistan, that they took over in 2 weeks, I was in social media 24 hours looking for support, looking for something, for someone to help our team, to help the girls who were all like every day crying in the group and just sharing their emotion and just, you know, trying to be powerful, but they can't because of that situation, because they know they will be next. The Taliban started to search houses, and they were killing the athletes. They already killed some of the volleyball players in the provinces. They already killed some of athletes who were in the Olympics. And that was the fear that was...
They already KILL people that were in the Olympics. They already See, they often the women just because they wanted to play a sport. But because it ripples and it changes the paradigm, it changes how women are viewed in that country. And they can't allow that because they have a stronghold on the women, a demonic one. And this is what they do. It's like, we're going to punish you. We're going to punish you for doing something that you're not obligated to do based upon our mentality thought form, which is lostness and demonic and low vibrational and ain't shit and weak. But like I said, you got them women, you know, they're afraid because they don't want to get off, right? But give me liberty or give me nigga.
You know, the danger that was coming to our team. And we were so lucky to have the support of the girl from our own team, a former player from our team, Khalida Popal, if anyone knows. She based in Denmark. She left Afghanistan in 2011, and she was the reason, she was a voice out there, outside of Afghanistan on that time, to be our voice for our team, to say that our team is in great danger right now, and to seek help for our team, which was successfully happened. And we got the support from Australian government, and we were able to get out.
And you see the power? You see the power? So there was a girl, 2011. I don't know who she talked about. She played in Denmark, and she used her access to get free and tell people, hey, my ladies, the girls over here, they offering them because they want to play football. And Australia was the only government that pulled up to help. Shout out to Australia. So Australia was the only team to pull up and help the Afghan women. Only Australia. Only Australia. Where was U.S. soccer? Where was everyone else? Why was it only Australia that pulled up to help Afghan women? They're on a little ass island. Them people on that little ass island was like, hey yo, we gonna help them. We're gonna help them out. So you trying to tell me a little ass island helped out the Afghan, and us, America, everyone else was just like, fuck them? It's a damn shame. It just shows you the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy, bro. It just shows you. Australia was the only one willing to ride for Afghan.
Safely to Australia.
Can you just tell us a little bit about, like, so once you got here, I know that you're a huge, you know, very powerful voice in women's, you know, and trying to support the women that are still there. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
I can say, as I said before as well, sport changed all my life, and it just teach me a big lesson that I can use my voice. My voice is important, and it's very powerful that I can change a lot of narratives. And it really happened, because during the time I was playing, I didn't even know I'm in a mission right now, mission of, you know, changing the society, mission changing the mindset, the narrative that is saying women are not belongs to society, and they can't do anything. So I think it all changed my whole life as well. Because you know, before, if I'm thinking before of the soccer, I think I was just a girl who was thinking I should go and study and become a businesswoman in Afghanistan, to just, you know, be a powerful person, be a powerful woman in Afghanistan, to show the male side that women in Afghanistan also powerful and they can do as well so many changes for our country. But coming to the sport, it really changed my life to become a sports person. You know, the mindset of myself to thinking I should become a national team player, I should become a very high-profile person in sports, I should be the next Ronaldo in female sports.
Yes.
And it really did. But, you know, facing those challenges, having that kind of mindset in Afghanistan, thinking you have to first change your own family, your own relatives' perspective, and then going to society and thinking like, you know, we don't have that much of girls who are participating in sports in Afghanistan, and seeing we have a lot of challenges. First, we should change all those things to make that happen, to have a very good team, like, you know, besides not having that good security. But all those things really helped me to grow up and think about that I can be at least an inspiring person for next generation of soccer in Afghanistan, even though I'm not giving up on playing right now. But again, hopefully to have our team again. To mention, we are not recognized since 2021 when we lost our Afghanistan women's soccer national team. And we have a case also against FIFA because of recognition for our team. Because Taliban not recognizing our team, like, you know, after that, where you're going right, to seek the help. So you're looking towards the FIFA. And you're already outside of a country and being saved. So we don't have that recognition. It's very hopeless to think about, and it's almost going to be 4 years. But the good thing that happened is that we had our meeting with FIFA after almost 3 years, and it's going.
And in reality, the reason why it's taking so long for them to get their national team back is because they will have to dismantle the demonic hold on that geographical location of the fact that women can be professional athletes. Women deserve this exact same amount of access that men do in that geography, and they are going to make it better because women are better just in general. But I mean, obviously, because look at the society, okay? But that's the whole reason. You know how long it takes to break down these demonic portals, these energy, these frequency, these matrix traps that they put in the world, and especially religion. They have brainwashed the women. They have brainwashed society. Do you know how hard it is to unprogram yourself from fuckery? Especially if you keep especially if all you see in Afghan is the fuckery that is being done to you. But she did it. She was able to break free, and I think that's also a benefit to her mom. You know what I'm saying? Her mom was like, "Hey, look, I got you. I'm gonna take whatever comes with me." She wanted a better future for her daughter, the one that she wasn't given, right? And so I applaud Fatima's mama for that, because she had to be a powerful spirit to, quote unquote, go against the rules that they had been living under. So her story is very inspirational because it just reminds you can break through. You can get through whatever limitations that are in front of you. You just face that shit. Like I said, give me liberty, or give me, because there's no way I'm going to be bound to slavery. And you shouldn't want to either. You shouldn't settle. You shouldn't think that this is it, because it isn't it. And remember, nothing of this world is going to give you the most pleasure and joy that you're going to give yourself. You're going to get to see nice things and stuff like that, but that fades. That goes away. You have to be happy with yourself today, right now. You can't be looking outside yourself for joy and peace and all this other shit, because in essence it's all an illusion. because we live in a simulation, right? It's not even real. Like, remember in the Matrix, in Neo, like they were eating the steak or something like that. There's an episode or there's a scene like they're eating the food, but they don't really taste the food. Like, they really don't taste it because it's just it's made up. It's not real. It's fake. You know what I mean? Our whole world is a simulation that is projected onto a screen, a big screen, big movie screen. You know what I'm saying? And they be trying to project fuckery onto our screens with their magical sticks, with their magical Hollywood magic. They be trying to project fuckery and siphon and harness all our good currency to help the world be better, or at least leave the world in a better place than we found it. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to take all that shit for themselves to continue to be demonic. You know what I'm saying? So we can't allow that shit.
To be a big change for our team, hopefully in upcoming year.
Good, okay. That's good news. Well, I think that, first of all, thank you for sharing that. That's really amazing. And I think that that's a really great sort of segue to Mary and the work of the Center for Sports and Human Rights, which I'm going to ask about, but I first want to say, which is interesting, what Billie Jean said before about the hockey team. I just want to say that I met Mary, and she doesn't, I know she probably does this all the time, and she knows how cool it is, but after I told you that story about the Olympics and what it meant to us, I have to tell you that I met Mary in 2018 at the SheBelieves game in New York, and it was right after the Winter Olympics, and the hockey team had won gold, and they were there with their medals, and they had former Olympians too, and Mary was there with her medal, and she let me take a picture wearing her medal, like around my neck. And I think she has no idea how important that was. But, and I think that it speaks to representation and to, you know, the things that you do that make people sort of, you know, that help inspire people to do other things. But more importantly, though, the work of the Center for Sports and Human Rights, we hear that all the time. And what are human rights? How do they pertain to this story? And yeah, where does that fit in?
Thanks. Before I start, can I just say that one of the things, you know, you get to a certain age and you've watched U.S. soccer for a long time. And I just want to say, I want to publicly thank the senior leadership at U.S. Soccer, because I have met so many women and people of color who now work at U.S. Soccer that I have never seen before, right?
Women, people of color. I don't know why you just can't just say women and why you gotta add the people of color in it. I don't know. That's just some weird shit. I don't talk like that. You know what I mean? I don't say, I don't talk like that. Who says people of color, nigga? Like, what the fuck? What type of world we be living in, nigga? Like, I be like, what? People of color? Nigga, you people of color too, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you people of color. You people of color. You people of color. Do you understand? You people of color. Nigga, you got color too, nigga. You not colorless. I don't be understanding sometimes the talk that they be having, people of color, nigga. You people of color too. Just keep it to women, nigga. Come on now. Damn. I don't know. She had a weak intro. I'm just saying. Her intro was kind of weird. But anyways, keep going, Mary.
And that's the culture change. Women and people of color are going to change this federation, right?
Women and people of color are going to change the federation. Nigga, why can't you just say women? And men are going to change the federation, or just women in general? What the people of color? That's funny, bro. That is hilarious, bro. Like, what the fuck? She got a color on her, right? I don't know what color you call that, but she got a color. She ain't not colorless, nigga. I don't be understanding. So women and people of color are going to change this world. The fuck? Y'all, this is what y'all be clapping to? I would never. I don't talk like that. I don't talk like that. That's weird. That's weird. I wouldn't want to be in a room where people are like, oh, people of color. Nigga, get the fuck out of here, nigga. You got color too, nigga. The fuck out of here, nigga. That's weird. That's weird. That is weird. I'm sorry. That's weird, bro. That is some weird shit.
Because that's our game. And so I love seeing culture change is the hardest thing to change.
But that's that political talk. You know what I'm saying? That's that weird political talk, nigga. Who says people of color, nigga? Say black. Don't even like you. Just all you have to do is say we the people. But they have to make sure they distinguish. Oh, when I say women, I mean all women, including people of color. Nigga, just say women. We not different from nobody else, nigga. Just say women. When you say women of color, you like add like we not in the same category, nigga, type shit. I don't know, man. She kind of got weird energy.
Sports. And that's the space that we live in at the center. And to see that, it starts with the people in the seats. So I just want to thank U.S. Soccer for the leadership change.
And she want to thank U.S. Soccer. U.S. Soccer ain't, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. U.S. Soccer, y'all still recovering. Y'all still got some things to clear up on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't innocent. We still got some things we need to work on, U.S. Soccer. But y'all, I guess, are moving in the right direction, right?
The culture change that you're leading in our great sport. The Center for Sport and Human Rights is founded by an Irish woman named Mary Robinson.
Mary, shout out to the Irish.
Huh?
We got a shout out for
Yeah,
the Irish.
so anyone here is Irish. No, she's the first female president of Ireland. And she did a lot of amazing things that had never been done in that country before. She went on to become the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, and now she is saving the world from itself as the chair of the Elders, which is Ban Ki-moon and a bunch of former heads of state. But Mary Robinson, back in 2018, founded the Center for Sport and Human Rights, along with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, the UN office, and the International Labor Organization, because she was looking at all the harm that was being called in staging what we call mega sporting events. So 2018 Russia, Sochi before that, reports coming out of Qatar around migrant worker deaths building stadiums, harms that had happened in the Olympics in Brazil. And she and a man named John Ruggie, who's the father of human rights, UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights at the UN, wrote a letter to Sepp Blatter, president of FIFA at the time, and said, when is sport going to take responsibility for human rights harms? And that set in place what Mary Robinson did, in true Mary Robinson style, is she founded an organization of multi-stakeholders. So it involved the whole ecosystem of the world of sport. So that's governments, sponsors, broadcasters, UN agencies, civil society.
So they all got, and Sepp Blatter, he was a weirdo too, right? He was one of these men that are running rampant, super sexist, weird niggas, weird nigga energy. You know what I'm saying? Probably pay for the play. Literally, he probably pay for the play. But anyways, yeah, like take responsibility for human rights, because now sports is being used to gain. It's crazy that people have had to use sports to gain access to basic human rights. That is wild work. That is the type of society and world that has been constructed under these men. Niggas got to use sports just to prove that, hey, nigga, I'm a human. They got to use things outside themselves to prove that they're human. The fuck? Instead of just automatically, nigga, I'm a human being. I'm here. Can't you see me? Can't you see me? You know what I'm saying? And it all goes back. It all goes, it all works together. Like they having to first, everyone hits, in a way, everyone hits an objective, hits an angle in which we poke holes in patriarchy until it's no longer here and it ceased to exist. And it will. I mean, I better be able to see that. Well, I already see a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of crumbling. Because y'all niggas is just not keeping up.
And everyone, right, come together and say, collectively, we are going to try to make sure that sport doesn't harm people, either its events or in policies that it has. So that's what the center does, is we bring that whole work together, that whole ecosystem in that world together at an international level. We're based in Geneva. And we are dedicated to helping the sector of sport understand its responsibilities when it comes to how it operates, its events, and its own governance. So whenever you talk about human rights, people are like, oh, you're talking about this country, or that. People don't realize that human rights are every day. We call it a bunch of different things.
And that's due to programming. People don't know that you deserve basic human rights because we live in a society where a lot of people's rights have been stripped away from them because people say so, and they have put in policies in. So in essence, in essence, she's saying that they're like the regulators of the ecosystem to make sure people are taking responsibilities. All these people that she named. So they're pretty much saying, hey, look, we're going to police you. We're going to get all these people together and we're going to, police to make sure you know your impact when it comes to the realm of sports, which is good because niggas need to understand how they influence the game too. Either you're influencing it positively or negatively.
Right? We talk about anti-discrimination, gender equality.
Yeah, man, all this stems from the patriarchy. All the things that we have all the things that they have created is in combat to the patriarchy. So everything that we do that is revolutionary is in direct combat to the patriarchy. Everything. Literally everything. Because look at the society that we live in. So everything is linked to patriarchy, which is probably demonic nowadays.
Protection from harassment and abuse. This is all human rights, right? They're actually enumerated, something called the UNDR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. These are basic things, but we call it something different. So we're now calling it responsible sport, right? How do you basically have sport exist responsibly, meaning don't harm people? And even beyond that, how do you, from a place of no harm, go to advancement of rights and the social good that sport, we know it can be? But it can't be if it's harming people. It loses.
And exactly, and who's doing most of the harm? Men.
Is that social license to be that. So what the center does is, since the sector of sport is kind of waking up now to its responsibilities for human rights. So these events that...
You mean we are all waking up to the fuckery? And we're all demanding that change be had? Because it will be had. We ain't just going to shut up about it. Why would we shut up about it? Because if we shut up about it, then we're acquiescing for everything that y'all decide to do. And that's just not how we're getting down anymore. We're no longer getting down with not saying anything anymore, especially in the times that we're in. Everyone's throat chakra will be open. You know what I'm saying? People be saying the most outlandish on all platforms or all social media platforms. That's why sometimes it's just like, you gotta make sure you keep yourself. Don't let the internet change you. Continue to be authentic. Continue to be yourself. Nothing outside of me will validate me. Tell yourself that, because your validation comes from within. Nothing outside of me will validate me, because what is it really? It's an illusion. It's a holographic projection. It's not really real. It's not really real. You know what I'm saying? So, but we live in real life where people are being offed and people's spirits are being suppressed and souls are being taken. Life force is being harnessed. All types of shit. Children's innocence is taken too. Shout out to the children.
Will be hosted in the United States. So the World Cup, the Olympic Games, the Women's World Cup now, all of these events have human rights responsibilities inside them. But where do you go to learn this stuff, right? How do you learn how to take something as, theoretical as human rights and actually do something with it in your host city that's hosting the event? So what the Center for Sport and Human Rights does is we take all of this sort of, theoretical human rights language, and we make it incredibly practical, and we build tools to help sports, host city organizers, as well as international governing bodies, basically metabolize what it means to respect human rights.
And that's another thing. I feel like the reason why they were asking these questions, well, how do we do this? Because remember, sports was only for men. So they weren't thinking about human rights when only men were playing. And this is the questions that they're asking. Well, how do we make, you know what I mean? So it's like, damn. A lot of these things were, like I said, when we talked about in the last video, JT said, it's like now that we're pretty much, the world has only been seen through men's eyes. The world has only been seen through man's eyes. Because they have used violence and fear to make it that way. Created rules and regulations to make it that way. Created a whole Bible to make it that way. Created religion to make it that way. The whole world has only seen the world through man's eyes. So when now, like I said, we are breaking down that system. And there have been revolutions when the world has seen things through women's eyes. And you know what I'm saying? Especially like, so, but now that a lot of us, especially women, are, we're, waking up, right? Y'all gonna see life through our eyes, niggas. Y'all gonna see life through our eyes. And we don't want to hear what you have to say because, nigga, y'all really ain't saying shit. Y'all not saying anything. Look at the world that y'all have perpetually created. It really ain't it. Especially in America. I live in America. It really ain't it. I don't know if you about other countries, but in America, it really ain't it. It ain't all what you think it is. Okay? It is not. Especially especially when you look through my eyes and how I have been perceived and looked through the world, it ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't Earth. Like I said, America ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't what you think it is. So it's like, but if you look through a man's eyes, you're like, America's the shit. Yeah, if you're a man. If you're a man, yeah, you think it is. Of course you think it is. Every document's that written, that if it's not written by a woman, it's still through maybe a woman that's been indoctrinated through man, you know what I'm saying? Especially me, having to deal with all the trauma that I had internally about myself and everything because of this demonic ass fucking society that I live in.
Into everyday practice using very practical language. We do that in 4 ways, and I'll wrap up after this.
All rituals and spells. Remember, wording, like they use certain words instead of just just say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Why do we have code words and other words? Just say what you need to say. These men got code words that mean this thing and mean the other thing. Everything that they have created is flunking, is just awful. 100%. It's just flunked out. So we have to we trying to get through male coding type shit. Nah, man, fuck all that shit. Just say what you need to say. Women are human, nigga. We deserve equal rights, nigga. Women are human, and we gonna get the same shit y'all niggas got access to. And if you don't want to give it to us, give me liberty or give me death, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of time we on nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want that, do you? You sure don't. That's why you trying to make rules and regulations. That's why you're trying to make rules and regulations to stop it. But you know what? It ain't gonna work, nigga.
No, please.
Well, looking at the clock here. We convene. So we convene international stakeholders, global movement of sport and human rights. We work with global sponsors. Some of them are here today who sponsor FIFA and the Olympics and all of those. We work with international broadcasters. We convene governments. We convene civil society, trade unions, UN bodies. We bring them all together and we talk about collectively what is each of our roles to help each other advance respect for human rights in sports, specifically sport. So we convene. The second thing we do is we're subject matter.
But it's like, how do you advance human right in particularly sports when sports is nothing without the human? You know what I'm saying? Before sport, I have to be born. Before sport, even before I get to play a sport, I have to be here. So it's like, remove the sport, nigga. Everyone needs human right. Everyone has human rights, but everyone doesn't have access to their rights because you know what I'm saying? But it's like, how can, like, and I understand, like, you know, this is the way that they're going. This is how I be doing, you know what I'm saying? I break down the matrix through sport. But these people be creating whole organizations for human, you know, they be creating organizations for human rights through sports. But it's not just a sport issue, it's a bigger issue, right? But you see how we have to like attack it in different, we have to all attack it in the realms that we in a way kind of been directed towards based upon how our spirit be moving, you know what I'm saying?
Experts. So we have expertise in what it means to, when you have something like an Olympic Games or a World Cup, there are predictable human rights challenges that will happen. Human trafficking, housing displacement, harassment and abuse, right? You can just go down the list of these.
Damn, I was tripping on the fact that she said human trafficking. Okay, let's see if I put it in the right position. Uh-oh.
And we talk about collectively what is each of our roles to help each other advance respect for human rights in sports, specifically sport. So we convene. The second thing we do is we're subject matter experts. So we have expertise in what it means.
And like I said, human trafficking during sports events is normal? Is like people be getting kidnapped at sports events? Human trafficking be happening at sports events? Why was that the first thing she said? People get nabbed up? She could have said anything first. She said human trafficking. Goddamn.
To when you have something like an Olympic Games or a World Cup, there are predictable human rights challenges that will happen.
She said there are predictable human rights things that will happen. And the first thing she said, why is human trafficking the #1 on her list? You see? Why is that something that we got to discuss? People going to get kidnapped? Humans and sold? And sold. Human trafficking, they getting shipped. Oh my goodness. Everything about this it just tells you, bro. All right, keep it going.
Human trafficking, housing displacement, harassment and abuse, right? You can just go down the list of these are all predictable, right? So we know they're predictable. We're the group that says, okay, we know it's coming. Here are keys to preventing it and lessening its impact. And then when things bad that happen, how do you make it right? What do you do about it? How do you make it right?
Well, like I said, you have to off the people that are, like I said, you gotta. I believe in the penalty. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these spirits and bodies are demonic, and in essence, the best way to get rid of these people is to off them, or it's one way to, because we can't be having them breed more people into this type of ideology. You know what I'm saying? We can't have word of mouth type shit. Because it's a virus, right? It becomes a virus. So how do we get rid of human trafficking at sports events? Well, we punish the people that are human trafficking. That's housing. What, like, why are these situations that like they have to get through? That is crazy. They gotta worry about human trafficking.
Right, which is called grievance and remedy. Okay, so subject matter expertise in very plain spoken ways. The third thing we do is thought leadership. So we basically take these concepts of human rights and international human rights standards and develop very practical tools that anybody can pick up and understand how to implement them if you're a league or if you're a host city committee or whatever on how to advance human rights. And the final thing we do is we hold some influence. When we're working with governments, when you're working with UN agencies, when you're working with policy actors, we've become very influential in that space. So that's what the Center for Sport and Human Rights does.
Thank you. All right, we're going to come back. I want to come back to the question of I do want to come back to the question of how you got this. And we do have a little time. We started a little late. And also, you guys can go get lunch and come back. No, I'm kidding. You can't do that. But Ms. Renata Simo,
Yes, ma'am.
LA 84, the coolest. Can you talk about it a little bit about the Play Equity Fund, how you did that?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here with all of you. Look, as a mother of 2 sons, I want to first give a shout out to the men in the room and the men watching. But I'm going to tell you why. I am here because my stepfather never set boundaries on me because I was a girl. So when the guys would come and knock on the door and say, I want Renata to come out and play football, he didn't say, no, you're supposed to be in the kitchen cooking. And so my curiosity,
Shout out to her daddy for not being like Fatima's daddy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her daddy for not being like Fatima's daddy and letting her go play some football or play sports type shit. You know what I'm saying?
disruptive nature was never contained. And I was allowed to really pursue any crazy thing that I wanted to do. Joining the military to find a pathway to college. My stepdad said, yeah, sure, cool, do that. And so just a little bit of a...
Oh, she went to the military? That's something else, man. It couldn't be me. I couldn't go to no military, you know what I'm saying? I can't follow directions like that. You know what I mean? It couldn't be me, fam. But shout out to you shout out to those that want to go to the military because this was a pathway to get to wherever she needed to do. She used the military as a vehicle. It couldn't be me, but shout out to the people that do use anything that they can. I'm using football, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people. We gotta use shit because the system will use you, nigga. Like the fuck?
A tidbit for you guys that is why, I sit before you. And it's also why I was able to take the legacy of the 1984 Olympic Games, who for 30 years before I joined was doing amazing things to level the playing field so that all kids had access to sport, play, and movement, not to become professional athletes or an Olympian, but to really find pathways, your physical well-being, your mental strength, and those pathways to something other than sports. I think we all know in this room that while, we're among some great athletes, is that there's life after sports. And so how can we ensure that kids on the margins, how can we ensure girls have pathways? But when I took over in 2016, while we had been doing great work for 30 years, there were more kids in the proverbial river of despair than we were helping with our limited funding. And so in my curious spirit, I asked the question, why? Why are kids in the river in the first place? And we needed to do more than just philanthropic investment into the sports-based youth development ecosystem, our coaching, education, and our research, but we had to go upstream and address the barriers that are preventing preventing all kids from accessing sport, play, and movement. And so it was a concept where I was hustling some philanthropic money.
But she wasn't a lion though when she said women.
And the foundation was focused on equity. And when my friend Monica Lozano said, well, Mija, do we do any work together? And before I could answer, she said, probably not, because we, the foundation she sits on, we're about equity. And it pissed me off, quite frankly. And I was like, what are you talking about? We're about equity. And I started to rattle off the data. Black and brown kids access sports, least likely. Latino girls, more than any other, group. Households under $50,000, sport cost is a barrier. Transportation. And so she sat back in her chair and said, then maybe we should be doing business together. Because I hadn't thought about it that way. I hadn't thought about play as a social justice issue. And so I run back, and we had been thinking about this nonprofit structure that we had, and I Googled the words play equity, and nobody.
And she said that she hadn't thought of it. I guess the other lady said she hadn't thought of it as a player justice, something like that. But I have to go back to that point, but I don't want to rewind. So let's keep it going.
We had put those together. And I come from a business background, as you heard, and so I trademarked the word, and Play Equity Fund was built. But it was built to fill in the gap. It was built in the spirit of the Olympic movement, of inclusion, equity, diversity, where all people can come together, and we didn't want to compete with our nonprofit organizations. We wanted a space where people could be part of the Play Equity movement. Nike is a partner of ours. They're part of our work to focus on their priority, which is gender equity, but they can say that we're part of the Play Equity movement. We have a partnership with all 12 of the professional sports teams, a historic collaboration that has never been done before. But all teams can come together in this shared purpose of ensuring that all kids have access to sport and play. And so it was built around bridging, around bonding, around collective impact, and around amplifying each other's work. And we focused specifically on fundraising and advocacy, because what we learned from the data was that, and you guys probably don't know that, because I did PE 5 days a week. That's where I learned that I was good at sports in middle school. But now PE is an unfunded mandate. Most schools have it 1 to 2 days a week. Recess, until we got involved in state legislation in the state of California, was not offered in school, and it was taken away in all schools. It wasn't equal. And that it was taken away by teachers sometimes for disciplinary action. My son has ADHD. He needs to go out and run on a playground before he's ready to learn, and the data and the science tells you that. After school sports, good luck if you have equality across the school district. And so we said, if kids aren't able to get, and this is beyond safe passage and gang and all the other things that are keeping kids from accessing sport, play, and movement, I said, we have to, if we're going to live up to our Olympic legacy, we have to address those issues. And so this organization that has been incredible over the last 7 years has started to focus on fundraising and policy. The L84 Foundation, call it venture capital into this nonprofit so we could stay focused. And over the last 7 years, we've raised almost $30 million. Raise up to that. But more importantly, we've really started to change legislation. I mentioned the recess bill that we got behind. We unlocked $15 million at the county for grassroots community-based organization. And the last thing I'll say, because I know I want to hear my friend Julie, is that we've also dropped a recent assembly bill. The United States is the only country in the world that doesn't have a youth sports commission or a youth sports department. The only country in the world. And so.
That's weird, man.
We said we should do something about that, and so we just recently dropped with Assemblymember Tina McKinnon, AB 749, and that is a piece of legislation to study the creation of a youth sports commission or department in the state of California. Illinois is ahead of us in establishing one, but this is our opportunity to elevate the opportunity to say, how do we centralize functions around sports, play, and movement? How do we centralize coaching education? How do we establish competencies around those needs for young people so that we can create a department and drive more resources to level the playing field for kids? And so it's an innovative model. We've reimagined sports philanthropy in a way that, as we've looked across the country and across the globe, that we haven't. And I think that at the last thing I'll say is I think that we have, in the work that we've done over the last 10 years, but 7 years with the charitable arm, is lived up to the closing words that Peter Ueberroth said at the end of the 1984 Olympic Games. And what he said was, if we have somehow brought this world a little bit closer, then perhaps we have staged a successful Olympic game. And perhaps in some small way, we have created a better future for all the children in the world. And so that's the work that we've been doing,
And remember, she said this was inspired after the Olympics, 1988, I believe that she said, at the Olympics. yeah, in the spirit, like we know how sport can bring us together. Sport is like music. It's sport. A lot of these things that are here on Earth that have been created, all can be used for good. All can be used to bring us as society closer as a human race. And lift the frequency. So, you know, we are doing, like I said, the little work that we're quote unquote doing is helping the future generation, because we don't want the future generation to have to go through what we have been through. And if you want that for them, well then that's awful. Don't want the future generation to have to go through not knowing that they're not human, not knowing that they don't have rights, not knowing that their voice is one of their biggest one of their biggest you have to voice yourself. One of your biggest things that you need to use on Earth down here. You got to ask for what you want. You got to ask questions, and you got to, of course, give good currency, good frequency to people that you come in contact with. Words of aspirations. Water other people's gardens as they water yours. And yeah, we're all doing what we can in this world to make it better for our future, for our future too, but also for the future generations to come, so they can have good footprints laid in the sand, footprints that they can either follow, and then innovate it and make it better for the times that they're in, and continue on, because we're learning from every generation, and we have to set the next generation up for success. My generation, they ain't setting a nigga up for success. I'm just saying, a nigga had to do it by herself, and we can't not be showing the younger generation. We can't be showing the younger generation what our older generation unfortunately failed to show us. You know what I'm saying? The reality of the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? We were lied to as they were lied to, and we were blinded as they were blind to. And now that we're awake, especially the younger generation, they're awake. So they're already going to help us do that. So, but like she said, in the spirit of bringing, this was created in the spirit of bridging the gap, right? Closing the gap. And did she say she's in California?
California, we're starting to amplify that.
Bro, that's some crazy synchronicity. I literally said, didn't she say she was in California? And then she literally says California. I heard her say it previously, right? And I was like, okay, didn't she say she was in California? And as soon as I play, she say California again? Super synchronistic, nigga. This is some magical shit. I can't help that. That's crazy. That's a damn synchronicity. If you ain't, it happens all the time. Synchronicities for me happen all the time. So I'm not surprised. But I just didn't think she was going to say California right after I said, did she say California? And she said California. You see how God be working? You see how shit be working, bro? It's Matrix.
With some partners across the globe, is to ensure that we're leveling the playing field and using the platform of this major sporting event, the Olympics, and the Paralympic Games, to make sure we're making the world better for all the children in the world.
Okay, I kind of love that Julie Ehrman is last.
I really would have liked to have gone first.
No, but can I say something? No, but you know why it's really great is because this is all going on and this is all extremely important, but you have created the dream. Like, you're the reason you know what I mean? You're what people, what girls like her look up to and say, this is where I want to be. And you know what I mean? And then we have, the support of the human rights to make.
Hold on, nigga. I don't know. I would have been insulted if someone told me that you was the dream. No, nigga. Who is she again? Hold on, no, nigga. I would have been like, what the fuck? What you mean? What about all the shit I just said? You know what I'm saying? Type shit. The fuck? Like I said, Angel City, y'all got dark points. Y'all tainted niggas. Y'all aren't y'all? Let me do some research. Hold on. let's stop the cap. Let's expose these people. Hold on now. We got to expose them, y'all. It is what it is. You can't tell her she's the dream when we can pull up this hoe. Angel City. This is October 3rd, 2024. It hasn't been a year yet. Angel City has been fined $200,000 and docked 3 points from the current league standing by the National Women's Soccer League for violating terms of the salary cap. The NWSL announced the sanctions on Thursday after determining that Angel City exceeded the salary cap of $50,000 for 4 weeks in 2024. The league also suspended Angel City president, CEO, Julie Herman. Exactly. This woman that we're seeing right here. This woman right here in the white picket. So she was literally suspended last year. So stop the cap. Stop the cap. Okay? Her. And GM Angela Herkles Maloney. That's our new GM, Houston Dash. That's our new GM, Houston Dash. From duties related to any player transactions for the rest of the season. The points deducted dropped Angel City to 12th place in the 14-team league with 4 matches left. The team is now 9 points behind Bay FC for the 8th and final playoff spot. The NWSL investigation found that Angel City had side letters with 5 players who signed in 2023 that weren't disclosed to the league. Those deals included the players' compensations and benefits beyond the standard contracts with the league, exceeding the salary cap. The NWSL remains committed to maintaining fairness and transparency all across clubs, reinforcing the importance of adhering to established rules and upholding the competitive balance within the league. The NWSL said in a statement. Okay, so you heard them. Okay, so let's hear from Julie. Okay.
Make sure that she can do that safely. And we have the support of LE84 to make sure that girls that can't afford it can still have that dream, right? And you've created a model, right, without, because at the end of the day, we just want good soccer. That's all And to have good soccer, you need investment and you need to be innovative. And I love the thing about Angel City FC is that everyone talks about the $250 million valuation, which is not nothing, by the way. Congratulations, right? But more important,
Angel City is tainted. Who? They gave 5 side letters? Not 1 time, not 2 times, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times. Trying to be sneaky. 5 times. Angela and Julie. And y'all had to take the bullets for the mess. Because in essence, y'all are the leaders, quote unquote. So this is what these are the people. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. Don't be blinded by the illusions. Just literally last year, she was suspended. Her team was docked points and fined. Wake up.
I think, and that you don't hear enough about, is that there's a reason why it happened so fast, and well, I'm sure it didn't feel that fast, but it happened so fast, and it's happened so big, is because you built a team with purpose. And so maybe that's what I want to hear a little about. Like, what does that mean when you say you built a team with purpose? What was your goal?
Yeah, well, thank you. And I do wish I went first. I don't think I've ever been quiet this long on a stage, and I'm happy to stay quiet. These women are incredible. And when you say I, it's we. My team is here today, and I'm so privileged to work with them every single day. When Karen, Nana, and I came together with the idea of Angel City Football Club, it wasn't based on we want to win championships. It wasn't we want to be the best professional club in LA. That was on the list of things, but it was very far down the line. We came together with a shared purpose to use sport and entertainment to drive to equity. We recognized immediately the power of owning a platform and the power of using your platform for good, which is what U.S. Soccer does. And I'm so privileged to be here, so thank you. But the ability to use your platform to drive to something bigger. One of the first meetings that Natalie and I had when we were thinking about how do we lead with purpose and how do we lead with impact.
And Angel City's in with all the celebrities too, so we already know they kind of on some weird shit off rip, all kind of already.
Was with my dear friend Renata Simmerl, and what she said was, if you want to drive to true equity or true equality, it takes systemic change, and that means it takes time. So how do you build a platform that can have impact?
And y'all came out the gates fraudulent. Y'all were already caught being systemically bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. And these are our expansion teams. And that's the thing. It's like, y'all can't like be expansion and then get in trouble. Y'all are fresh and on the scene. How long Angel City been alive and y'all already been docked 3 points? When was Angel City created? And then how quickly did it take them to get docked 3 points? Y'all are doing bad stuff too early already. You know what I mean? It was just less than a year ago. Not even a year ago. Excuse me. Not even a year ago, y'all was caught doing scandal. So, like I said, y'all can talk all this talk, but y'all's actions don't back up what y'all have done. Like, play by the rules. Y'all are evaluated at 250 something, but y'all paying people under the table because you know that you're gonna break the salary cap. Okay, fuck y'all's evaluation when y'all doing scandalous shit like this. Nothing that doesn't impress me when y'all are docked 3 points. I'm just being real. It don't. Wake up.
Not only today, but for the future, and how can you also leverage the work of the past to give you that kickstart? And so with Angel City, we started with the idea of thinking big. What is the biggest thing you can be in the world? You can be a global brand, right? That is the biggest thing in the world. If you are a global brand.
What is the biggest thing in the world? Being a global brand? I guess.
You're touching the most people, you have the ability to drive the most revenue, and you have the ability to use that revenue.
Yeah, but y'all was using that revenue to pay people underneath the table. Talking about systemic change. But y'all just systemically doing the same thing that your predecessors did.
Revenue and that permission to have impact. So we said, okay, if we build Angel City as a global brand with a purpose greater than sport, to use sport and entertainment to drive to equity, we may be very successful one day at changing women's sports, changing women's football, and most importantly, driving to pay equity, gender equity, and visibility equity for women. That was where we began. That is almost in some ways easy. It's easy to have a big mission, right? It's easy to make a bold statement. But what's hard is living it. It's having the conviction to put it to work in everything you did. So we said, look, if we're going to lead with purpose, if we're going to lead with passion and purpose to lead to profitability, we have to be intentional about what we do, and it has to feel authentic to our community, to our fans, to our stakeholders, to our sponsors, to our partners, to investors, to our players. And so we built an organization where mission and capital can coexist, where we never sacrifice one for the other. And we do that in our 10% sponsorship model. We do that in our 1% fan fueled program, where our fans give back to our players. We do it with our program with our players, where they have to use their platform to promote Angel City and women's sports to drive revenue so we can give impact back into the community. And we made a bold statement that said that we are going to have a positive impact in the community while we build this incredible sport of women's football through the lens of Angel City Football Club. To date, we've invested $3.3 million back into the community through the incredible work of this team and the revenue that they generated. I'm looking at Chris Fajardo, who heads up community for us, who's incredible. We've impacted over 176,000 Angelians. We've given 2.2 million meals. We've coached over 2,000 men and women and non-binary individuals to be coaches so that if young kids can see themselves, right, there's a pathway. And I think what has, supported and led to Angel City's valuation and, our position in this like beautiful game of football is our intentionality. And the idea that we knew from day one, we believed from day one that people, not just women, people watch women's sports, they will invest in women's sports, and they will show up in women's sports. So we made an investment to create a product that values women's sports, that values the players that you want to come to. And that's been the biggest difference for us.
Okay,
And I like Angel City. I like the Thompsons. When Messiah Bride was playing from Messiah Bride, Fuller. I'm trying to figure out who else. But mainly I watch Angel City. Well, if I do watch Angel City, it's for the Thompsons, Fuller, and I know there's some other players. But right now, I really watch for Alyssa Thompson and Giselle Thompson currently Angel City because I like their play. They're influential and it's obvious.
great. Yes, please.
So Julie's serious that she calls me, I don't know her from Adam. She calls me and says, I want to come and talk about this project that I have, and it was super secret. And this was probably 2 years before you got the license?
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, sure, I want to talk about community. So we set up a meeting, and I see her walk in, but behind her, I'm like, no way she brought Natalie Portman with her.
Celebrities. We don't like I said, they use them. Like me personally, why are you like she wants to invest, but like I'm not gonna be blinded by an actress. I'm not gonna be blinded by these celebrities. Do you have like I said, you just brought her just cause, but the fact that she's bringing up Natalie Portman, I don't know if I only seen a couple movies, maybe a couple, maybe not a couple. She was in Black Swan, right? That's probably the only one I know. But besides that, we don't care. If she had brought Serena Williams, maybe I would like, fuck Serena, but she brought Natalie Portman. I watched Serena Williams. She would have been more, but if Natalie, I'm sorry. Shout out to Natalie Portman type shit.
And I had two thoughts for me, and I've met some incredible people in my 10 years, but I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I said two things. I said, one, please don't call her Queen Amidala.
Natalie Portman was in Star Wars. See, I'm not a Star Wars person. I only know Luke is your father. Luke, I'm your father. Darth Vader was Luke's daddy type shit.
But I was distracted because I looked down at her feet and she had the dopest Jordans I've ever seen. And so my first question is where'd you get those Jordans? Because I have a pretty tight shoe game. So and I say that to say, one, I'm kind of fangirling on Natalie, but I say that to say the commitment from Kara, Natalie, and Julie in building a team from purpose was there from the beginning, and it continues to be there, and it's been a great partnership with them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We still have a little time. Can we go around, and I know I had other questions, but I know we like to talk, but can we go around and just give them, like, if you were to give them a little nugget that they could take home with them, doesn't have, I mean, we already did, right? Like, there were so many things that, yes, you're going first, you're absolutely going first. First of all, you did great.
The point is it's going to get better, so I'm just going to start.
Yeah, start.
Reset the time, because we have another 40 minutes. You guys don't want to go to lunch, do you?
No. We'll have them,
see?
we're going to have them bring, could you guys open and just bring lunch? We're going to stay.
Let me go first to get myself out of the way here. But I would say let the word no be the driver for your success. People that say no lack creativity, lack innovation, and I dare to say are weak. When you say yes, that means you're willing to do the work and you have the conviction to do the work. So let no be the word that drives you, and don't let anybody else's limitations become your limitation.
Y'all should have said no when y'all was trying to get people money underneath the table, but y'all said yes. So be careful what you be saying yes to, because that ass was suspended All the rest, like you were suspended for all last year after, right? Y'all should have said no. This is not right. We actually we're abusing the system. We're not supposed to be doing this, but y'all said yes. So you need to be careful what you be saying yes to, Julie. Next time you tell people to say, yes. Don't be saying yes to illegal shit, Julie. Like, don't say yes to illegal shit. Say no to illegal shit. Please. Please. Thank you very much.
If Karen, Natalie, and I listened to literally the 100 no's we received in trying to raise money and build Angel City, it would not exist today.
Okay, let's go backwards this way so that you get to it. Okay.
I would say curiosity. Always ask the question why and why not. Or better yet, what if? What if something was different? What if? And I've always been curious. And so I said, well, what if we did something different with the foundation and created a new nonprofit focused on shared purpose and amplifying effect and all of those things. So always be curious. Billie Jean King said, always learn to learn. That's, to me, is curiosity. So that's number one. Number two is always remember that success is a game of attrition. Success is a game of attrition. You have to keep showing up. Okay? And then number three is, again, everything we learned today was Billie Jean in the morning panel. Is number three is that we can't do it alone. Right? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so we have got to stick together and build bridges. And our men are just as important as the women, our men allies.
And you got to make sure you link up with the right people. Because niggas, listen, it's tough because, well, mainly, if you go far with someone and they snake you at the end, well, then it was a waste, right? But if you go, that's why you got to, I don't know. They say if you want to go, you got to trust yourself and you got to meet the right people. You got to meet the right people to go far with. And like I said, people are opportunists. People that lack creativity, that lack motivation, try to attach to people that have motion. So you got to peep game when it comes to that, because you need to be around people that inspire you because they're inspirational. You need to be around go-getters like you because you're a go-getter. You need to be around people that are changing their realities because you're changing your reality. You can't be with people with old, outdated thought forms that just want to limit you and hold you back. You need to be thinking forward, and like I said, you need to be thinking forward. And remember, we're leaving good footprints. We're leaving good works for the people that come after us. Of course we want a good life for ourselves here, but ultimately we have a bigger purpose than just ourselves. And that's what's crazy.
And so just focus on how can you build bridges, shared purpose, amplify, so that we can go further on this journey together.
All right, Mary.
So I would say this is more from my playing days. But for all of you out there who are thinking about the life that lies ahead of you, I would encourage you not to be bound or restricted by what you have in front of you today in terms of restrictions, in terms of limitations. Think about what you want. When I was with the women's national team, it looked nothing like it does today. But we had an idea of who we were and a sense of purpose and self-identity that didn't match up with our current conditions, right? They weren't aligned. I thought of myself as an international elite athlete, professional athlete, even though I wasn't a professional athlete. I was a professional management consultant working. But that's how I viewed myself, right? So that sense of self and the future that you want for yourself as an individual and also as a group, kind of own that and be an active participant in going out and creating that for yourself. A lot of what we did, we had to create, right?
Right. All these things that these women have done, they've had to create it from nothing. Nothing into something. This is the gift that we have, to create nothing. To create something out of nothing. We have been able to we have the gift to create nothing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this again. We have a gift to make something out of nothing. To make something out of nothing. That is some magical ass shit. That's some magical shit. We are creators. We are creators. We're supposed to create beautiful things on planet Earth for ourselves and for those that come across our gifts and talents and our whatever we share with what we have created. And like I said, identity change. She said she was a professional athlete, but that wasn't her job description. But she and the ladies had an identity of themselves, of who they were, I guess, quote unquote, in the future, in a way, in that moment in time. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows you the power of not letting your reality limit your vision of your future self. It's so powerful to always think that where I am right now is just a stop. It's not the final destination. My position right now is not my final destination. There's great things that will come from me every single day. And we have the ability to create something out of nothing. We have the ability to change our identity and how we see ourselves, even though our reality says another thing. And that is a power that we all possess. And that's a power that a lot of us are waking up to because, it's time.
It just wasn't there. You heard that from Billie Jean. You've heard that from others. But if we were limited by the opportunities or the reality that we had that we were in the middle of, none of that would have happened. It was about envisioning what you wanted and what you wanted the future to look like for yourself, and then being an active, deliberate, intentional,
AKA an awakened being. When you wake up, you realize you have to be intentional, active, and you have to start doing things that is going to help your vision manifest. You have to start moving in ways that for that reality, for you to align with that reality, right? And pretty much what she's saying, you need to wake up. And when you wake up to what you want to do, you have to be intentional. You have to go out there and create it for yourself, because you're not having this for no reason. You're not thinking about these things. You're not envisioning these things for no reason. It's a part of your reality. It's something that's going to come to you, that you're going to align with. It's something that you're going to ultimately become. So, I like what she's saying there. Do not allow what you see with these two eyes to limit you. Don't allow this matrix reality to limit your dreams and goals and aspirations. You may have to move differently to achieve the things that you desire. And maybe even the things that you desire are something that you may not even want. You may end up getting everything that you desire and be like, man, I don't want this. I want to do something else. Similar to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm changing my whole shit. I'm changing my whole vibe. So, like, that's such a powerful thing to do. We're deliberate creators. And like I said, we have been taught that what we see with our two eyes is it, but it's not it. You have the ability to change it, but that does not mean you're not going to have opposition, because I know I have oppositions. They had opposition. They had opposition in how they were seeing the world. I bet there was a lot of people that fought them in how they were seeing their reality. You know what I'm saying? But they still persevered and they still got through. And, ultimately right now, they're still the best. I mean, USA Women is still the best national team right now. So, that vision still, that reality is still here.
participant driving that outcome you want for yourself, because then it's possible.
All right, Ms. Fatima.
I'm going to say two things. First, the thing that I really learned in my life, learning that using your voice, such a powerful that it have, and it can change. So I'm going to say use your voice, because there is girls, there is women who can't have their voice and they want to be listened. So I think using our voice will be a big and powerful platform to change the whole narrative
bars.
And the second thing will be about dream big. Because I remember myself in Afghanistan with limited opportunities and looking my environment. I was dreaming big on that time, I remember. Like, you know, just imagining being a Messi, being a Ronaldo was crazy. But it was a big dream in my head at the time that I realized Afghanistan have women soccer national team for the first time. Like I never imagined, because there's limited opportunity to also use social media in Afghanistan, I remember. So that's why I never had any idea that women can play. I never knew there's in the world that we have a lot of, you know, women athletes who are as the same popular as the male side, male athletes. And I think dreaming big will be a sign that your dreams are valid, and especially for those women and girls who don't have the right to go for their education, go for their, you know, sport or any dream that they have. And looking, just an example, if I say, looking towards our team is an example right now for those girls who are thinking their dreams are not valid. I think looking towards team is that you can have those dreams come true if you work for that, even though taking a lot of challenges and, you know, risks during your time.
Use your voice.
I think they're good. Yeah.
So, in the vein of using your voice, there are incredible people here, following people, sharing their stories, telling us.
Angelino.
Oh, yeah, that's
Renata
right.
Angelino right here. Follow everybody and amplify. Yeah, sure. But amplify what people are doing, because that's also how it helps other people dream big, and it shows what's possible.
That's true.
And one last.
Yeah, no, I have one after you, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. You belong in any room you show up in.
Woo! Yeah.
Right? Say it with me. I belong. Come on. I belong in any room I show up in.
Yeah, pretty much you gotta walk in the room like you own that bitch. No, you use your energy. You make your look. I be going into environments. I don't really go to places I don't really. Anyways, but yes, wherever God takes you, you deserve. You belong there. You may not have what the other people have, but you can learn. And the other people that are already there may not have what you have, and they'll learn from you. But yes, in essence, unless you fraudulently got yourself in a room that you don't deserve, it's going to be exposed. But yeah, you need to walk with your head held high, especially if you're a woman. You know, you need to do you. Fuck everyone else. You need to, I'm sorry, not fuck everyone else, but yes. Don't let people make you feel small. Don't dim yourself. All that other stuff. But yeah, you know, every room you walk in it with confidence. Mind your business. Do what you need to do. And go on with your day.
Just remember that.
Okay, quick practical one, okay? And something Billie Jean told me, and she probably told everybody in the world, but I like to say Billie Jean told me something, okay? She said to me once when we were talking about gender equity, she said that men will look at this is just because they'll look at a job qualification, right? Or a job opening that has like 9 qualifications that you need to have, and they'll have maybe 5, and they'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Women will look at the same list, and if they have 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 9, they're going to be like, you know what? I can't do that one thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I probably should look for something else. Don't do that. 90% of the people in the world do not know what they're doing. And we do it anyway. Go for it. That's another thing, which is right.
True statement.
And that's it today. Thank you so much.
Can we get a quick selfie? Let's get a quick selfie.
Well done, well done, well done, well done. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we were able to break down that panel of the SheBelieves Summit. Very great speakers. Some of them said some very great things, inspirational things. Fatima's story, a lot of the ladies, women's stories, you know what I'm saying, very inspiring. Continuing to, they have created a lot of things for women and for women and women in sports and even children. Because these things weren't created for women; these were created for men. So there's so many things that we're going to continue to create for the women's game and for children as the world continues to evolve and we continue to wake up and we become in a way more unified as a collective, because we're all on this. Look, we're going to be in the 5D pretty soon consciously. So stay up, stay high in frequency. Don't allow people with small dreams or no dreams to make you feel like your dreams are not achievable. Okay, and the people say you only dream while you sleep. So you need to wake up and go out there and co-create your reality and make your dreams reality. Okay, and go out there and manifest and bring the things that you desire from within into the world. Okay, so you need to continue to do that. Remember, this is a simulation. You have the ability to create. You have to be aligned with the frequency. Okay, and you got to keep your frequency high so these demonic forces won't trap you in certain simulations and suck your energy and eat off you, because they ain't shit niggas type shit. You know what I'm saying? So the women's game is growing. We're going to grow with it. The world is growing. The world is evolving. And we have to make sure we stay balanced. And we need to understand both sides of the coin, how we've been, how pay to play is awful, and how we have to figure out how we can eventually eliminate pay to play around the world, so children have access to the game, to just playing with their friends, just playing with the community, so we can be better as a collective. Because at the end of the day, we're not here alone. We're in this together. And the more of us continue to, use our voices, as Fatima says, as advocates, as just speak for yourself, homie. Just speak for yourself first, like she did. She had to do things for herself. Speak for yourself, and then depending on what God wants you to do, you may be a leader for others. So, anyways, y'all, we gonna be back. Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, y'all. Oh, yeah, we probably might be back tomorrow. But yeah, because we still got we still got a couple more panels to do. But anyways, make sure you hit the like button if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Twitch, shout out to you. It's your girl Anita flying high, flying out of this third dimensional reality, and I'm gonna see you.